Welcome to Ketchikan, gateway to the spectacular Southeast Alaska. And today we are joining an excursion from our Royal Princess Alaskan cruise to visit two of the most popular attractions in this fascinating city. Join me as we check out some of the most beautiful totem poles in the United States, as well as the fascinating lumberjack show in Ketchikan. It's coming up. Ahoy fellow travelers and welcome aboard the Royal Princess. And today we'll be docking at Ketchikan. Founded in 1883, Ketchikan is known as Alaska's first city, as it's the first city you reach when you're cruising north through the Inside Passage. For us though, this is our last port of call on this memorable Alaskan cruise. Right, we just attended a lecture about tide pool life and now we're ready to get off the ship. Here we go, checking out. Welcome to a busy Ketchikan. Well, we just got off our ship, but our excursion doesn't start until later in about 40 minutes. So we're going to check out the famous Creek Street Historic District first. Look what Steve has just found. It's an Angry Bird egg here. It's courtesy of someone from Maine. Yeah. Well, Ketchikan is a bit of a circus right now, so we're gonna walk back to our ship for our excursion. I know that a couple of ships will be leaving here at 1 p.m, so hopefully later in the afternoon the town will be much quieter and we'll come back and look again. After a long wait, we're finally going to our coach.
They actually only cracked one window, so they did a pretty bang-up job. The stories I will share with you are, of course, of the...
So we arrived at Totem Bight State Park. Let's head inside. This area is home to a fascinating collection of hand-carved totem poles, set against lush forests and the coastal waters of the Tongass Narrows. Totem poles are such a rich part of Alaska's indigenous heritage, telling stories of family lineage, legends, and important events through intricate carvings. We're visiting today as part of a guided excursion group. It's quite tricky to capture everything live while keeping pace, so I'll walk you through some highlights instead. Check out this totem pole restoration building. One of the main features here is the clan house, a traditional wooden structure that served as a center for living, storytelling, and ceremonies, housing up to 30 to 50 people. Inside, there's a central fireplace, surrounded by a planked platform, with different families allocated their own spaces but sharing the same fire. The carved house posts supporting the beams are beautifully carved with intricate details. Just outside the clan house stands one of the park's tallest poles, rising to 68 feet. At the top is a shaman, dressed in ceremonial garb, wearing a headdress of Blair colors and a fringed leather apron. Each of these poles tells a fascinating story, but there's one legend I found especially memorable. Have you ever wondered why Ketchikan is so rainy? According to Tlingit legend, there was once a great hunter named Cass. Deep in the forest, Cass met a magical she-bear who turned into a woman. Even though he already had a wife in his village, he fell in love with her and stayed in the forest. They lived happily and had 3 cubs. But when Cass learned that his village was starving without him, he begged to return, and his bear wife agreed on one condition: he must not speak to his human wife. Cass tried to avoid her, but just as he was leaving, his old wife surprised him. Even though it wasn't his fault, his bear wife knew instantly. Although she planned to forgive him, she played a trick and pretended to be angry. their cubs, thinking that their mother was in danger, attacked and killed cats. Heartbroken, the bear wife climbed the highest mountain and cried, and legend says that her tears have been falling on Ketchikan ever since. After exploring the park, we had a few minutes to pop into the Visitor Information Center, which also houses a small museum with some interesting displays. But there wasn't much time to linger. We had to hop back on the coach for the next part of our excursion back in Ketchikan. Right, the coach has just taken us back to Ketchikan after the Totem Bite State Park. Now we're walking to the Lumberjack Show. Right, here we are. We're just arriving at the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. We're booked for the 2:30 show, so let's head in. Are you excited about a Lumberjack Show?
Of course.
Yeah, we saw a bit of preview on the Cruise TV preview program. The Lumberjack Show is one of Ketchikan's most popular attractions, and it's a high-energy celebration of Alaska's logging heritage. The show is held in a purpose-built arena, and the setup is simple. Two teams, Team USA and Team Canada, going head-to-head in a series of logging challenges. First, we saw wood chopping. Two men side by side, racing to slice through big logs with just an axe. You can't help but get caught up in the competition. Then we've got axe throwing. They take it seriously here. The aim is to hit the bull's eye, but watching them line up and release with that much precision was genuinely impressive. Boom running was one of my favorites, and it involves sprinting across a row of floating logs. It's over in seconds, but the balance and coordination needed is incredible. Then there's the chainsaw event. It's not just about power, it's precision too. They race to carve perfect wood disc in record time. Speed climbing was probably the most jaw-dropping. They scaled tall wooden poles in seconds, using spikes strapped to their boots. Blink and the contest was over already. We also loved the log rolling, where two lumberjacks try to spin each other off a floating log. It always ends with someone soaked and the crowd in stitches. It's genuinely entertaining with plenty of laughs and audience involvement. If you've never seen it before, it's well worth it. After the entertaining Lumberjack Show, we've got some time to have a stroll around Ketchikan before returning to our ship. Ketchikan is also known as the salmon capital of the world because of its healthy salmon runs and its fishing community. So we got a massive totem pole in front of us. This is Chief Johnson Totem Pole. Well, here we are at Creek Street with a lot fewer people than earlier. This historic boardwalk is built on stilts right above Ketchikan Creek, which runs beneath the buildings. And during the summer months, this is where you'll see the salmons fighting their way upstream to spawn. Back in the early 1900s, this was Ketchikan's red light district. These quaint wooden houses once operated as brothels, serving loggers and fishermen passing through. The most famous of them all is Dolly's house, still here and preserved as a museum. Dolly Arthur ran her business here from 1919 all the way through to 1953. She was apparently very successful. Back then, the street had a cheeky local motto, where both the salmon and the men came upstream to spawn. You've got to admire the sense of humor. Today is a much more family-friendly affair. The houses are now colorful boutiques, art galleries, and little cafes, but the charm remains. And as you walk along the raised wooden planks, it feels less like a town and more like a canal-side village. We had an enjoyable day out here in Ketchikan. We enjoyed the excursion and the Lumberjack Show was really cool. and it was nice to walk around afterwards in sunshine. Well, it's time to get back onto our ship now. If you've been enjoying this video or finding the info useful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel with notifications enabled. I've got a lot more Alaska travel content coming up, so you won't want to miss out. Back on board, Steve fancied a bit of rest before dinner, so I headed up to the top deck to soak up the views and watch our sail away from Ketchikan. It's always such a lovely part of the day, that slow drift away from land with the mountains fading into the distance. Tonight was formal night, a chance to dress up and go all out. We didn't go too overboard, but we did throw on some nice shirts and made an effort. The dinners were actually quite good. The highlights for me was definitely the lobster tail, which was cooked just right. Afterwards, we made our way to the Princess Life Lounge to watch Marriage Match. It's basically the Princess Cruises version of Royal Caribbean's Love and Marriage show. And if you've seen that, you will know what to expect. Lots of cheeky questions, couples being put on the spot, and a whole lot of laughs. We made sure to get there early because it always fills up fast.
Well, that's some interesting dynamics, okay? You guys spend a lot of time on the face, okay? Sir, I'm going to need you to draw the wife you have, not the wife you want, okay? That's what I'm going to
The evening entertainment continued in the main theatre with Encore, the ship's production show. It leans more towards classical performances, and it has a more traditional cruise vibe. I have to admit, I do miss the higher production value and modern flair that you get on Royal Caribbean, but it was still enjoyable. And the night didn't end there. Since tomorrow is a sea day, we knew we could sleep in guilt-free. So we grabbed some cocktails and headed to the piazza for the ABBA party. All the flavors were played, and it didn't take long for everyone's inner disco diva to emerge. It was a brilliant high-energy way to round off the night. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've had such a great day exploring Ketchikan and enjoying all that Royal Princess has to offer. If you have missed the earlier videos from this Alaska cruise, be sure to check out one of those out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there. Ciao for now.